Sound healing is more than just a practice, it's a dance of energies transcending through cultures and communities. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Women Talk, Season 4 with me, your host, Sazzy, Falak. And you know what? Throughout the season so far, we've had so many different topics that we've discussed, and it's been so interesting by far. But right now, like in today's episode, we're going to be talking about sound healing, a topic that has, piqued my interest for quite a while. Although I have very little experience, I do want to know more about it, which is why I have my amazing guests with me today. I've got Jojo Stroyce, who's a co-founder or founder of Ohana Jo, who's also a wellness coach and speaker. We've got Daniel Graham, who's an entrepreneur, Reiki practitioner, mother, a bunch of other things. And we also have Elena Murang, who's a singer-songwriter from Sarawak. Welcome, ladies. I can feel that this is going to be a very zen episode already. I've got very zen guests with me.
I should have brought my bell.
Yeah, exactly. Sound healing. Okay, you know what? Let's start with you, Jojo. What is sound healing? For the benefit of my audience who has never even heard of the word sound healing, probably maybe you could give like a very quick explanation as to what sound healing is and what can it do for our souls and body.
Well, sound is actually as old as time because everything is energy, and I would say that it's like a vibrational massage, you know? And sound travels through water more than 4 times faster than the air. So the human body is made up mostly of water, so it travels right through us. And you need a conductor in order for sound to travel, and water is an amazing conductor of sound, and so are bones, and we have 206 bones. So with you just lying there, you are receiving sound. And they call it like a bath because it's like washing over you. So it can clear stuck energy. It can really get you into a very deeply relaxed space.
Okay, so how does one get into sound healing? Do they have to find like a center that provides sound healing for those who have no idea where to go?
I know that some people, they're doing it online just because sound has such an incredibly relaxing effect on us, but it feels like a luxury to be able to receive it in person because you really feel the vibrations. And sometimes people even jerk because, they're in such a deep space. People can journey, like they get into like an altered state of consciousness, and some people come up and they go, oh my gosh, my back feels better. Like there's more ease for like stiff joints. Some people get downloads and realizations. It's really interesting.
Yeah, when you mentioned the jerk, it kind of sounds like when I'm in, I'm in my deep sleep. I do that sometimes, my leg jerks, and I'm just like, what just happened?
What was I dreaming about?
What was I dreaming about? But okay, I get that. But okay, I do want to ask you more, but I want to ask Daniel, how did you discover sound healing and what got you, into it?
Well, it's really just become such a huge part of my daily life now.
Daily life?
I do. I mean, I incorporate it into my spiritual practice, which has become something I do every day, my go-to, so it keeps me like sane, so I can kind of, do everything else that I need to do.
Mother.
I know, it's just like you need to feel that cup, so that you can give kind of more when you're topped up.
Yeah.
So I think with the sound healing, and I do Reiki, and I do yoga, meditation, journaling, and it's all kind of like intertwined. And it's it's been amazing. It's transformed my life for the better.
I think I need to incorporate that into my life. Raising three children. I mean, it's wonderful. And what I do is normally I do exercise. So I guess
that's great.
By incorporating all these things, it helps you become more zen, more centered. Correct.
And that's your physical workout. But I think it's really good to explore, the mental workout and really take care of our mind and our...
Exactly, that's why it's mind, body and soul. All right, so I want to go to you, Elena. For those of you who have not heard of Elena or Elena's music, I would encourage you to go to YouTube, search for Elena Murang, and just listen to her beautiful music. So when I do listen to music, I feel like I'm being healed as well. It's very soothing.
Oh, thank you.
So, I mean, how do you go about creating your music?
Well, I started learning sape when I was 10 years old.
And that's the instrument that you use?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sape is from my father's tribe, Kalabit tribe.
Okay.
And it used to be used in ritual healing ceremonies. The legend goes that's why it was created. It was created by a man to heal his wife. And it was used to heal spiritual ailments, physical ailments, and emotional ailments.
Okay.
And although the community no longer practices that anymore, so I was brought up just learning how to play the music of the sape. And I think growing with it for over 20 years, 20 plus years now, I've learned how healing and meditative it is. And interestingly, so it's, you know, look up a picture. It's this instrument, a stringed instrument. Unlike a guitar's hole, the sound goes outwards to the audience.
Okay.
But for sape, the resonance goes inwards to the player.
I see.
So it's not just the sound that is healing, but it's also the person that's playing it also delivers the healing.
Vibration as well. And
yes.
Jojo was mentioning vibration helps, you know.
Yeah, and actually you're right, because everything is energy.
Right.
So, and I think when you play something with love, people feel it.
The
So
vibrations.
intention is everything.
Yeah, the intention.
Yes,
Yeah,
I agree.
for sure.
So back to your question, growing up and then later on learning how to compose my own music, we always start with an intention for the song. Because the old songs, the old music that we play, it was written by our ancestors, and back then our ancestors didn't know concrete, they didn't know buildings, they didn't know money, they only knew the oldest rainforest in the world.
Nature.
Right, nature, which is so
Yes.
healing and powerful.
Okay.
And as an artist, I think they absorbed nature and made this instrument and made these songs and these tunes.
This conversation is getting me feeling so zen. You know? I'm feeling so intrigued. I want to hear more, but we're going to go for a quick break, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So earlier on, we dipped our toes into the journey of sound healing, and we had Jojo explain a little bit about what sound healing is. Essentially, it's vibration, it's cleansing and all that. But what are the tools that you use when it comes to this? Because we had Elena speaking about her sape.
Sape.
For sound healing, what are the tools that you use? What instrument?
Well, mainly I'm working with the gongs, and they are amazing. I have an Asian gong, and I also have Western gongs.
Okay.
And they're so powerful that sometimes people actually feel afraid. They're like, oh my gosh, what's coming at me? You know? And interestingly, it feels like it's washing right over you. And there was a reporter who came and she said, I wanted to do a story on the crystal bowls. 2 strikes of the gong and she was gone. So she just totally out. And she was in such a deep...
She fell asleep.
Completely.
Was she snoring?
She
I
came,
do that every night.
she came up to me at the end and she said, did you play the crystal bowls? And I went, for a long time, and she never heard it.
Oh my God.
And she's like, I don't know what to write about, but she felt amazing. Like she felt like she had this
deep relaxation.
power nap.
So she may not have heard it, but she felt it.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
right.
Yeah.
So I work with the gongs, which can really help to clear emotions that are stuck in you or stagnant. And the crystal bowls are amazing for insomnia, and they're very soothing and very calming. So they have slightly different effects. So I usually start with the gongs, and then I move over to the crystal bowls, and I work with the Tibetan bowls also.
When you mentioned about the gong, kind of reminds me of when you do yoga or when you do meditation, you do that little hum, right?
Yes, the
because that vibration kind of calms you down. So I guess that's what the gong does. You can feel that.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But
Would it
it's...
be- right?
Yeah, an extension of that, I guess.
I
It's
guess,
on-
yeah, you could say something like that.
But
Because
that's-
do you know even humming, right? Humming is so powerful, and you don't need a sound instrument for it. 5 minutes of just humming can release melatonin from your brain.
Wow.
And
That is what I'm
Incredible.
doing later tonight then.
Me too.
you just hum. And if you hum with intention, even more
Right,
powerful.
yeah.
You can
Okay.
actually really, it can also clear the airways.
Wow, wow. And what about you, Danielle? Do you incorporate sound healing into your Reiki practice?
I am venturing
Also.
into that. So I'm learning about the Kotodama, which is
Okay.
an ancient Japanese chanting that you will do with the Reiki.
Yes.
And it's very powerful. And you use the symbols. You chant the Reiki symbols.
Okay.
And you can use it over your different chakras
Yes.
that you have, and also to heal others as well.
Right, right.
So it's something that I'm exploring. You know, this is all I've just wanted to deepen my spiritual journey and I'm just so curious. So it's just something that I
think it's
learn.
endless, you know, because there's just so many things that you
keep
can
learning
learn
and applying it and see where it takes. Yeah.
Like you started music from a very young age. You know,
did,
what are the benefits of you doing the sort of music that you do in healing? Has it, you know, shaped you to become the woman that you are today?
I think it has. I mean, Sabit's been a huge part of my life. I mean, also connecting me to my father's roots and making me feel closer as well to nature. I mean, living in KL now. And it was really interesting. Like, I used to meet with other Indigenous musicians across the world because I play at festivals across the world, and I would ask them, how do you go on tour for so long? Don't you miss home, and don't you miss the land? And
don't you worry about being disconnected?
Yes, and they taught me that you can actually, through music, carry that place in your heart. And when you play the music, you know, it's there with you. And for me, that's been very powerful.
That is indeed very powerful.
Yeah.
So, Jojo, you mentioned about crystal bowls. We know how the gong works, but I think maybe some of my audiences don't know. What is a crystal bowl? I'll just share my little experience when it comes to the crystal bowl. It's all about doing this. I can never quite get it to do the sound that you guys do. What is the secret? But yeah, please explain about what is a crystal bowl, how's the tool look like, and what sound emits from it.
Well, they usually have different notes, and you know, we have like mainly 7 chakras. So you could have a heart chakra bowl, a throat bowl, like, you know, you just like line them up.
Yep.
And if a person's starting out, they can even just start with 1 or 2 bowls. But what I realize is that it helps you to really slow down. Like, it can slow down the pace of your thoughts, your blood pressure can drop, even your body temperature. And what happens is when people are hearing these sounds, the way when we're in nature, when you hear birds chirping, it can help you to really like just slow down in every way, you know? So it's deeply relaxing, and it can actually trigger off alpha and theta brainwave states. So
what is that? Speak English, please.
Okay. Nak cakap Melayu? Okay, no. So we right now would be in beta consciousness. So your brain waves are moving at a fast rate.
Okay.
So when you go to bed at night, when you're in between, like you're about to fall asleep, you're slowing right down.
Okay.
So what happens is even your skin gets rejuvenated when you're in the bedrock layer of sleep, which is like delta, right?
Okay.
So it's just the speed of your brainwave states.
That's one of the benefits, you know, good skin. We're going to be talking more about benefits of sound healing.
Sound healing is good also. It's good for your skin
when we get back from our break. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to get really interesting after this. Welcome back, guys. We're still talking about sound healing, and I'm feeling very zen and excited to try the humming for tonight before going to sleep, because apparently it helps you because it releases melatonin.
That's
so
right.
It helps you with your sleep. Okay, so I'm going to go with Daniel. Do you have any memorable experience that you can share with us with regards to sound healing, or in your journey in doing sound healing?
Well, there's so many, but recently, on the way here to the studio, I got into my...
just recently.
Yeah,
that's
just
really
happened.
recent.
Yeah, very recent. Which I thought it was, and it was just such a, one of those moments, and what I really needed, because I was dealing with some domestic stuff before I came, and anyway, so I got into the car, and the Grab driver was playing this really relaxing, meditative music.
Wow.
Which was just something that, is not normal. I mean, I haven't really experienced that before on a ride. And I asked him, I said, I love your music. It's so peaceful, and I really needed this. And he said, oh, I said, where did you, how did this all come about? And he said, I was a Grab driver in Thailand, and my friends introduced it to me because of the crazy traffic jams and to relax during, and it was just so nice to hear about his story and how, they're also using, I guess, sound healing in other ways, right? And it also, and he was like, also for my passengers too, they've had a long day at work, or, you know, in my case, domestic issues at home, and, you know, it was just,
That's adorable.
It was really, so it is really like there's a collective community kind of effort.
And earlier on, Jojo, you were sharing about the benefits of sound healing, and one of the things that I'm sure intrigued a lot of female audience out there is that it helps you with your skin rejuvenation. What other benefits are there during sound healing?
Actually, it's such a long list. It calms your nervous
You want to
system.
hear it?
And, like I was saying, it triggers off theta brainwave states. So if you're trying to manifest a goal, it's the difference between I think I can do something, if you're just coming from your head, to I believe I can do something, to I know I can do something. It's like a space. And so when we have the brainwave state slow down and your heart rate drops, you get more in touch with your emotions and your subconscious. So it's also a great time to seed intentions. We've had entrepreneurs coming in for sound baths going, I know what I need to do now.
Yes.
It's really interesting. And then you've got mothers going, I'm too hard on the kids. Like, they're just more in touch with they're more in touch with, you know, like what's going on in their inner world. And it's great for blood pressure. If you've got high BP, like, it drops that. So.
That'll be my husband. Sorry. Okay, then.
And with the domestic issues she's facing, like, you know,
it just triggers, and I mean, it just kind of,
Yeah, you're right. Because, you know, I heard that there was this master Indian guru, right, who said that one of the biggest pollutions that we're dealing with is noise pollution, but not from the streets. It's from our thoughts.
It's in our heads.
And sound kind of drives out the sound of your thoughts. It's like, you know, for that moment, you're in the present, and the present moment is the only moment you have any control over. So when you feel the vibrations, it's like you're there, you're in the moment, you know?
Can one, like, let's just say they're in the middle of doing their work or in the office, can one just kind of take some time away and do a bit of sound healing to kind of center themselves back? Is it that convenient?
Well, it would probably be better to have someone do it for you, because it's like if you feel like
a professional like you first, right?
Well, if you felt like a massage, you can massage yourself, but it would be nicer to receive a massage.
True that. That's a great way of explaining it. Very true, very true. It's like you can do this, but nothing like someone doing it for you.
Yeah, so I've invited good old Sazzy here for more than half a decade.
We all need to go. I've been wanting to try JoJo's. Let's go.
Let's try JoJo's.
I keep telling her, just come to Ohana Joe as my guest.
We'll
you know,
come all
so
together.
bring your hubby as well, and you know.
And the kids.
De-stress.
And the kids.
And the kids.
Let's plan that one day, because that's something that I want to do. Because, it's so those are the benefits. I think it's just clearing your mind.
Clearing the mind.
Like you said, the CEO is now like, okay, now I know what decision to make. What other benefits are there? Do share.
Okay, I would say that...
What about health benefits?
Oh, wow. We had a lady who basically was told by her doctor, they did all the checks, and her period had stopped for quite a number of months, and it was worrying because they wanted to conceive, and so they said, look, we can't do any more apart from tell you that you just got to relax, because you need to regulate again, right? I mean, you can't quite medicate something like that.
Yes.
So she looked for a class with us, and she did yoga, which finished off with a sound bath. The moment the sound bath began, she didn't expect this. There was like this sharp pain that, like in her lower belly, and she goes, whoa, because no one's actually touching you, right? And after that, she fell asleep, and she was really relaxed. But there was that sudden pain, and she goes, whoa, why there, you know? And she went home that night, and she started to bleed. And her husband said, like, God, this is no period for months. How did that happen? You know,
sometimes your body has blockages, and I think that's what the sound healing did. You know?
I think it just kind of kick-started. You know, so we've had so many things like this, where there was this guy who came in with like a football injury. His hip was really tight, and after the sound bath, he was like, I don't understand. Like, how come there's just more ease?
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we need to discover. I mean, it's more than just. There's obviously exercises or meditations that you can do, but sound bath is something else that you should explore as well. Well, before we wrap up, thank you so much for all your sharings. But before we wrap up, I know, you know what, Elena, the music that you do, I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who look up to you. Do you have any advice for musicians that's interested in exploring the therapeutic side of music, and what advice would you give them?
I would say it always comes down to intention. It's always important to set your intention. For example, with sapit music, if you do want to go into it, you know, as a meditative and healing instrument, it's to go in with the intention of doing that, because there are a lot of people that also play, you know, pop cover songs with sape, and I wouldn't say those are necessarily healing. So it is all about intention and how you as well, you know, get on the stage and what, you know, what is it that you want to say or deliver to your audience. So, you know, I get messages after a show saying, you know, I had depression and I feel so much better after listening to your music, or I was so angry earlier and after listening to your music, I just calmed down. Things like that. And I think, you know, anybody that wants to get into music in a healing way and a performative way as well, it just comes down to your intention.
So
I think
set
you
your
can do it with
intention.
many instruments,
Right. Lovely stories from all three of you. Thank you so much for coming onto the show and sharing your personal, unique journey in the world of sound healing and music. And for those of you who are interested to find out more about sound healing, well, guess what? It's only a Google away. Find out where's the nearest centers that you can go and visit and maybe find out more. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys next week.